Oh, hi there. I'm just reading some Transformers comics. We might talk about them a little bit later on. Welcome, folks. This is Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world with a uniquely Australian bent. Actually, it's not really that unique, but sure. This is episode 185. We are recording live Friday, the 15th of March, 2019, and it's been a few weeks away. I've been around the world. I've been on the other side of the planet, but I'm back, and I've got a couple of cohorts with me tonight. We're going to be talking about some new Siege figures that are on the way. We've got some new comics to talk about. Well, we've got a new comic. We'll have another one in a couple of weeks. We got some new box art to look at for more Siege figures and the big boys that we're seeing in Mega Supreme and Jetfire. And we got all of that and more coming up after this. Welcome to the show. I don't know how much of the mid opening credits banter is going to make it into the show, but we'll see how we go. I'm Jason. Joining me this week, we have Ash coming to us from Launceston in Tasmania. How are you doing, sir?
Not on fire and becoming colder every day, just like Tassie's supposed to be.
You must be about to be underwater then.
We give it time. We haven't started raining yet, but I'm sure it's going to happen literally any minute now.
I think looking out my window up here, I think you're correct. Coming to us from his undisclosed location somewhere in country Victoria, we have Brad. Brad, it's been a few weeks since I've chatted with you on the podcast. How's it going?
Good. And I do have a couple of questions phone related to ask you off podcast. Sadly, not about new phones.
I will just point out that I have been away for a few weeks because I did go to Spain. I did go to Mobile World Congress and I saw a bunch of new phones and I got to touch Huawei's foldable Mate X phone and it was cool. Yeah. But it's also going to cost you about $4,000 or $5,000 and it's probably not that much.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether that was actually just you sneezing or if that was actually a reaction to the price of the phone.
The idea of $4,000 or $5,000 spent on a phone that I mostly use to read news articles on the toilet just scared the hell out of me.
Yeah. I believe it scared something out of you that you might be doing on the toilet.
Yes.
Fair enough, too.
Yeah, the iconic Motorola Razr was one of the first to sort of go into that foldable phone. Now everyone else is going for it too, and yeah, Falcon.
The same technology unearthed, as it were.
It is literally the same. Actually, they are bringing.
Let's do it.
They are actually bringing back the Razr name for a foldable phone.
Yeah,
excellent.
So it's going to be a thing. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so look, very very quickly since it's been a few weeks since I've been on, I will just point out that last year when I went to Barcelona, I managed to find. I actually managed to do quite well with Transformers hunting in Barcelona last year. I came away with Primitive Skateboarding Prime and the Transformers Tribute 2-pack. This year, I came away with absolutely full because the same shop that I went to last year still had that Transformers Tribute 2-pack on the shelf. And when I went to another branch of that store, I found Transformers Prime Beast Hunters RC. Still
wow. See, there's a toy world in Tasmania that has Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Ratchet just sitting on the shelf alongside newer studio series.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Transformers hunting was not necessarily successful this year in Barcelona. I must admit, quite disappointed. I actually took 2 suitcases that I had packed lightly on the premise that I might throw everything into one suitcase in order to fit some Transformers from the bountiful plains of Barcelona. And
did you end up putting one suitcase into another suitcase because it was just that sad?
I could have done it. I could have done it. I ended up with 2 suitcases that were about like like 12 or 13 kilos each coming back. And
then as you were going through the security checkout to leave, they're just like, "Oh, packing late, sir," and you're like, "No, just a bad day."
Yeah.
It was a bad day as I was out shopping for Transformers. Speaking of having bad days out shopping for Transformers, holy shit! Has anyone actually sighted any Transformers Siege figures in New South Wales? Not really.
None in Victoria. No.
You've got them all over Victoria. They're just not in Watha.
Tasmania's still drowning in them.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I thought you said Tasmania wasn't underwater.
No, we're drowning in siege figures. The water comes later.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no, I get those two confused all the time.
Yeah, there's parts of America underwater right now, not us.
It's true. Look, I've added a section into the news to talk about availability, so I might save some of my conspiracy theories and stuff until then.
You don't have your tinfoil hat yet, so you just not yet.
I haven't. You know what? So I'm not in the study this week. I'm up in my living room. I just feel like it's going to be a little bit nicer up here, a little bit more space, and my house is being sold, and so my study is basically a wasteland, and I think it's going to echo crazily. But I can see over there in my kitchen, I can see the alfoil. So, like, if I need to get a tinfoil hat, I can do one.
As soon as you feel the government at the edge of your brain, that's when you get it.
Yeah. Well,
I need to message Bill for some proper placement of said tinfoil hat.
Possibly yes. I suspect that anyone listening to the podcast now will not know who Bill is. So anyway, yes. So let's start off with some bot shots, shall we? This is actually really good. I'm very happy about this because when I went away, and it's been about a month since I've been on the show. When I went away, there was no bot shots. I've come back. There is bot shots. There's funny things for me to look at and come along and apply my like emojis to in the group. So, Brad, do you want to bring up the winners of the last couple of weeks? As we did no show last week, so we've got 2 weeks worth of bot shot winners to catch up on. Now, congratulations must go to Kyle Kirkwood for this week's winner. Now, is that a bot or is that just a crazy accessory?
I was hoping someone else could tell me that. It doesn't have panel lines, so I'm guessing it's a crazy accessory.
I think it's a bot shot.
A bot or a bot shot?
It's a bot in a bot shot.
A bot and a bot shot?
I'm fairly positive.
Fair enough.
I've seen that bot, and it is, I want to say it's like Fungus or something ridiculous.
It's like what?
I think he's like a mushroom, and I think his name is Fungus.
Oh, right. That's not what I thought you said. But yes, fair enough. So Carl Kirkwood is the winner with this shot of Megatron saying that with this tool we shall defeat the Autobots once and for all. Nice job on the glowing eyes there. Now we also have the winner from the week before from Steve Kukulis, getting all of the Autobot cars lined up in a dance mood there.
That's fantastic.
That was extremely good. I was extremely happy to see that one while I was away. Very happy, very well done, everyone, and we are looking forward to more hilarious photographs. Yes. So just on that, a little bit of an admin note for box shots. Of course, if you've been listening to the podcast for a long time listener, first time caller, we encourage you to take your bots out of their cabinets and put them out into the great big wide world outside and take some photos, preferably of them doing some funny things, but sometimes you can just have them there posing and looking a little bit serious as well. Weekly winners go into monthly prize draw, and the monthly winners go into the hat-free yearly prize. Full terms and conditions on the website, as Brad was just scrolling through at transformerscca.com. We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news.
Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from by yonder?
Now, let's talk about some Transformers sightings, shall we? I'm very excited that we've actually spotted a relatively recent transformer in Sydney. Siege Transformers have been making their way around the country at Toy World stores, and Sydney doesn't have Toy World stores. So we've been watching the rest of the country.
At all?
Yes, Sydney's got no Toy Worlds. There's one up in like Newcastle. So this is why whenever you, someone said on the Facebook group earlier this week or last week, they were just like, I was like, where are you finding all of your Siege figures? And I just said in everyone else's posts because it's exactly. Just it's just there's not too many around now. So we have found in the last few weeks, for some reason, we've gone to the Refraktor prototype there on your screen, Brad.
Correct me, where do you need to go?
We're talking about sightings, so just us.
Okay.
And it goes back to Refraktor.
That's all right. Stop sharing.
Okay, cool. So we have spotted a Voyager Siege Starscream in Sydney. Now, there's been a bit of a new stockist for Transformers in the form of a shop known as Kid Stuff. Now, the Kid Stuff is usually known as sort of some younger kids, educational sort of toys. They have been stocking Transformers Siege. And, so they've got Wave 2 Voyagers. At least they've got one. And I believe Declan purchased it today, so we should expect to see more of that in the group soon. We are seeing Battle Masters and Micromasters, at least 2 or 3 of them, go around the country in Big W stores. That is actually the first major retail presence for Transformers Siege, and it is March.
Yeah, we're only 3 months late compared to everyone else.
Yeah, it's only a little bit late, and I didn't actually bring this up in time. But I'll see if I can find this very quickly on my phone, because I did get a bit of an ominous email from Hasbro when I got a little bit annoyed.
Ominous email from Hasbro.
Yeah, I got a little bit annoyed when I was about to head off to Barcelona, and I sent an email to Hasbro going, "Look, I'm in New South Wales. When am I going to be able to buy Siege figures?" And Hasbro wrote back, and where's...
Oh, you want to buy our toys? Well, become a sponsor or something. Pay a lot of money.
You like Transformers?
Yes.
You fool.
We have made these Transformers for you as a collector. Now play collector prices. TransformersHasbro.com.
Here we go. So I emailed Hasbro and I said, "Hi there, can you advise when we'll be able to buy the new Transformers Siege figures at major retailers? They've only been stocked at Hobbyco and King's Comics so far." Name drops for both stores there. And both shops charge above RRP for the figures. I got this lovely response from Tanya. She said, "The Transformers War for Cybertron is only just releasing now." Accurate. The Toy Worlds, it's like the interwebs. The Toy Worlds have had stock, and Toy Universe, not someone I'm familiar with, should have stock shortly. We hope Target will have stock next month, and then Big W and Kmart in April, followed by the ominous part: we are yet to receive orders from these customers.
So this is all mid-year sales. The skull.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I don't know. Man.
That was a good pause, because that was warranted.
I thought so. So Big W has got some Siege figures in March, so that's a little bit wrong. And who knows? Maybe Kmart may not have actually placed an order for some Transformers. They might have forgotten. That order form just sort of slipped down the back of the filing cabinet when you placed it on top of it. It happens all the time.
They just order the same range of Studio Series over and over again because they keep restocking the last wave at my local Kmart.
Well, can we take some time out to point out? So this will come up in acquisitions later. I went to Toymate in Chatswood yesterday. They did have some Siege figures, same Battle Masters and Micromasters that have been making their way around, but they also had bots. They had Series 2 bot figures and some Series 1s. So
really?
I've picked up some Series 2 bots. We'll talk about them in new acquisitions. But I think this might actually be a grand master plan from Hasbro, right? Because we've said for the last few years that the first wave of any Transformers line always ends up shell forming. So I think Hasbro's finally figured out how to stop that happening by bypassing the first wave entirely.
That doesn't work.
No, it does.
Not logical.
It stops the first wave from shell forming because the
It's a shell.
shell form.
No one
Yeah,
stops
meme
the
of a
first
black
wave
man
from-
tapping his head right now.
Yeah,
You
no
can't
one-
shelf a warm if you're not warming the shelf, if you never
Yeah.
off the shelf to begin with.
Totally.
They who purchased no figures has no shelf to warm.
Look, there's one other thing I want to point out here as well, which is the theory that I've been going on for a while, and I sort of had this confirmed when I went to the UK after my trip to Barcelona, and I asked one of my friends in London, like, where should I go to buy Transformers, thinking that I might get like a nearby toy store, and his answer was Forbidden Planet. Now, Forbidden Planet is basically like Melbourne's Minotaur, Sydney's King's Comics. It's very, like, it's specialist. It's a pop culture store. They do have Transformers, and I did buy Ravage and Laserbeak because I felt like I did want to at least have a Transformer to show for it.
I'm not leaving here empty-handed, damn
No,
it.
yeah, basically, I didn't want to leave there empty-handed. They were cheaper than Hobbyco and King's Comics. Their figures were $20.50 for the Battle Masters, whereas those guys on sale, I saw them today in kid stuff, were $22. So I don't know what to make of it. It's all a bit crazy.
It's a bit like that though sometimes.
Yeah. So here's my theory, right? Australia and the UK have both lost Toys R Us in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is what happens to toy availability when you lose a major retailer like that. The UK does have a couple of other chains that have sort of stepped up to fill that void. Australia really doesn't. Like, Hasbro is really sort of relying on Toy World and Toymate to get these figures out to people now that Toys R Us is gone. The major retailers are probably not that interested because everyone went to shop at Toys R Us for ages. And I think we're in this point where we need to figure out what toy retailing in Australia looks like in the post Toys R Us era.
Well, is this going to lead into distribution discussion, or is that later?
Well, and this is the distribution
Okay.
discussion.
Well,
Things can't be found.
how many you go into your local local toy shop, go in, the shelves are still loaded with Bumblebee two-step changes and all that sort of stuff. There's no studio or Berserker.
No, they've all got Crowbar.
Or
Oh my
Crowbar.
god, yes,
Yeah.
Crowbar. I
Yeah,
could drown in a
so-
sea of Crowbar.
There's
See a lot
ample,
of drowning in Tasmania tonight.
Yeah.
there's ample Bumblebee stuff. Maybe they've gone, right, Bumblebee's not selling. We're not going to invest in Studio Series. You're saying because Toys R Us are out, no one else is going to buy it, but you've got Kmart, Target, Big W, and all these other smaller stuff that still seems to be buying or contacting Hasbro to say we want figures, but it's more so the figures collectors want aren't getting distributed because all the shit that we don't want is stocking shelves.
It's just there. That's the thing. I actually was at my local Toy World and they had this massive collection. Like you said, Crowbar, massive. Now, I asked one of the people who worked there, I said, look, there is a new range coming. Are you getting it? And her immediate response was, we don't usually get new product until we've cleared off the previous shelf. And I like turn around, I'm like, it's full of crap though. Luckily, her manager was like, new wave? Yeah, one of each, please. And so it still happened, but it was still a case of like, you're expecting to sell that? Do you know what that is?
No,
It's the same figure 19 times. Even the one fan of Crowbar who probably lives in the fucking darkest part of Africa has already got a figure. They're not coming to Tasmania to buy 19 more.
no,
Mm.
not at all.
Crowbar Army.
I will
Crowbar me.
point out that is the one figure that has been on every single shelf in except now. What's his repaint?
Berserker or something? No.
Berserk was the last night.
Yeah,
Crowbar and someone else. Strong Arm.
doesn't matter. But the repaint is the one that's now shell forming here as well.
Yeah.
No one cares.
It was Crowbar, Crankcase, and
That's the one. Crank.
Yep.
Crankcase. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some news, shall we?
What's actually coming? Eventually.
Eventually, nothing here. But let's talk about stuff that's going to come out in Japan, shall we? So we do have some new images of me apparently.
This is going to take a second. All right.
I am making Brad run the screen share tonight because my apartment is in pieces and I couldn't actually find the keyboard to run the screen sharing computer.
I tried to preload it before and I got ahead.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So we are looking at the prototype version, is that, of Siege Refraktor? I say I'm not sure because it's not actually on my screen.
I think it's make big. I think what we're looking at is this is the final shot, but this is the uncolored prototype.
I think you need to actually make yours the presenter.
Yeah, present everyone.
And press the hide button on that thing at the bottom.
Yep, sorry.
There we go. And then change that before we all get dizzy.
All right. How's that?
Yes.
There we go.
Right, here we go. This is the figure that Hasbro and Takara wanted to buy 3 of.
And it doesn't come in like a box with just 3 of them.
No. You have to actually buy 3 of them.
Buy this guy 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
This is so nice. You must buy it thrice.
I think it's actually interesting that the one thing that's in color in this is the weapon.
Caliburst.
Yeah.
Caliburst, the weapon master with his purple goo gun.
So Caliburst is the. Does Caliburst come with Refraktor, or is he separate?
He's separate, but he's in the same wave. They've been doing that a lot. Sort of, if this target master comes out with these figures are shown holding that target master. It works.
We've seen some painted prototypes of this guy earlier in the year when we saw the diorama set up at one of the toy fairs.
Yeah,
and like does look pretty good. Look, Caliburst really is the only thing that's in color.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a problem with how the figure looked back then. I don't have a problem with how the figure looks now. I reckon it'll be pretty good.
What about that? Not that it matters at all. I don't
Mr.
even know
Hollow Butt.
why are they photographing it like that.
They're just not hiding it. They're just going, you know what? We know there's nothing there. The big question I have is obviously Refraktor / Reflector / Erector. He's obviously designed to be, Reflector, 3 guys, 1 camera.
Mm-hmm.
But if you buy 1, what does he do?
Doesn't he transform into like a weapon station or something as well?
Is there
You mean like a base mode?
There's no base
He
mode.
turns into something. No, I mean like how like the base modes for like Times Return was, and then you just explode him and lay him out all over the place. And now he's a base. I'm like, no, he's a mess. So he turns into something.
I'm pretty sure he does turn into something. Maybe it's just like a Cybertronian tank or something like. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure we've seen that, but I can't really remember. And
Googling madly, Captain.
Yeah, commence Googling.
He turns into a spaceship.
I do know that the circular part on the chest is detachable, so that you can attach it to one of your 3, so that one can be the Viewmaster. No, that's fine. Because that way you've replicated their G1 aesthetic, where one of them is the main figure.
I've located an image, Captain. He turns into a weird long gun.
Okay, let's change to that.
Where?
Yeah, there you go. It's on Ash's screen.
I'm trying to find that.
It's
You
everywhere.
can't find Ash's screen.
There it is. So as you can see, that shows the combined mode of all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And a single one turns into a long weird gun thing.
Yes, fair enough. I mean, look, so when they did him as a repaint of Shockwave for BotCon, he also turned into a long weird gun thing. So
Turned into a long weird gun thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting thing from seeing this is that his gun with the radar dish on it, 3 of them turn into a tripod. I think that's fantastic.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
That's actually really clever.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, and we're done.
And we're done.
Let's move on. Well, do we know what wave Refraktor is in?
I don't know. Honestly, with Seeds, there's so many things coming out so quickly. I've actually lost track of what wave's which. All I know is there's the things that I want and the things that aren't available to me yet, and they overlap massively.
Fair enough. So next up, we are looking at the Takara-Tomy recently released photographs of Studio Series Shatter. She's the red one, right?
Yes, she is. Well, you already led with she's the she, so
yes, I can't quite remember, but yes. So yes, the red muscle car from Bumblebee, and so we've already had one version of her in Studio Series, haven't we?
No.
Just not
You are
here?
thinking of Dropkick. No.
Right.
There has not been a Studio Series release of Shatter. There has been several one-step changes and all kinds of things that I colloquially call garbage. Dropkick has come out, and now she's come out. The thing I love about these images is that they are so unashamedly straightforward. There's no photoshopping. You can see every little problem with it. And it means you can weigh out whether you think it's good or not. Like, you can see
that's actually pretty common with Takara-Tomy, right? Because Hasbro will often go for the renders.
They'll go for a render. They'll go for the absolutely perfect painted figure for the packaging or whatever. This looks like it's come off the assembly line.
But I think that's a very Japanese thing. That's Takara does this a lot. They're like, here is the toy.
Yep. Absolutely. This is what you're paying your money for. This is what you're getting. Now, an issue that a lot of people had with Shatter is that her legs do look very long. It's true. It's just part of the mold. For me, it's all about that car mode. I think it actually looks very, very good. And it looks like it transforms in a unique way, which
that car mode holds together really well.
Yeah, it looks really, really solid. So I'm quite keen on this one.
Yeah,
I actually have a secret project for this one. Yes, because she's got that stupid battle mask head that never appeared in the film. She's got that weird bug head. I've actually bought one of the other toys, one of the terrible two-step changes that for some reason has an incredibly good sculpted normal face head for her. So I'll be performing surgery.
Have a smart
you're literally going to give your Transformers a head swap operation.
I absolutely am going to operate because I've got Studio Series Bumblebee. He just needs a little bit of paint and he's a lot better, so why not just lop someone's head off while I'm at it?
Indeed. Let's move on. We've also got shots of scrap metal.
Scrapmetal. Well, we've got Optimus first.
There's an Optimus.
Now, Optimus is all over the place.
Prime
Targets
first.
in America. He's hitting the shelves. He hasn't reached us yet, and I want this guy so badly. I've actually done something I promised I would never do, and I've done it. At my local Toy World, I've printed out a photo of him, and I gave it to the ladies at the counter. It says, when this appears, don't put it on the shelf, just give it to me. Because I'm sick of
you
missing
know
out.
that's not going to work, right?
I hope it does. The reason I never did it because it feels so pathetic, and I knew it would never work. But I think
you're going to
hit a new low,
and the shelf will be full of them, and you'll just be like, "What? Why?"
Yeah, probably. Yeah, let's be clear. No, sorry. There'll still be 19 crowbars.
Yeah,
We're not getting him off Studio Series. We haven't sold all the old ones yet.
One more Optimus Prime, and you'll be like, "Why didn't you call me?" And they'll just be like, "Who are you?"
You're the one who left that piece of paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without your phone number in it.
Well, that's just like seeing a manager and putting your phone number on the back of a standee. It's like you never get the phone call.
Yeah.
Like the standee's gone. That packs in tight for a Prime.
It does.
It does.
It does. And I like how they're very straightforward about what parts are metal and which parts aren't. Cogman! Or is it Cogman? It is Cogman, isn't it?
Oh, it's Cogman.
Now, he's another car former that wears his alt mode very, very casually. Like he sort of he looks like he's just
Straight over him.
and just stretches for a bit.
Yeah, have a car.
Tis a car. I also like that he comes with a sword.
Yeah, because like, why not? Every Transformer in that fucking movie had a sword, right?
Mm-hmm. No, Bumblebee had a hammer, but you know.
It is a sleek looking alt mode though.
It is. It's actually quite
For
tidy.
a DB9 Vanquish, it looks fantastic.
I personally love the wheels. I think the spokes look incredible.
Right, what are we looking at? This
is scrap metal, is it not?
Metal, yeah.
Scrap metal is the excavator digger. He looks like, I mean, I can't fault him. Like, as far as Studio Series Devastator goes, he's a beautiful yellow. His alt mode looks amazing, and his bot mode looks pretty killer. He's got arms, he's got legs. He looks like a robot. Look at him.
Yet not a Devastator Constructicon.
Oh, he's part of Devastator. The thing I love is that he's got his little wheelies on his little ankles. These are my little duty doos.
Now, we've seen Cogman before. I'm not sure we've seen this guy before. Have we?
No, this guy's an original mold. design
No.
for.
I mean, like we've seen the studio series version before. This guy, I think this is the first time we're seeing it in color. Is it or something? I don't remember. I also kind of don't care because it's a constructor combat, like whatever.
I kind of wish that the movie bots were more like this guy. Like he is interesting because the next up, I'm pretty sure we're going to be looking at Rampage, who is just confusing. Oh yeah, so this guy is an arm, but okay, so here's Rampage, who looks like an amazing bulldozer, and then he turns into what?
Is he? Is it a pendulum?
What is his bot mode?
Pendulum.
He's a what?
A pendulum. He swings back and forth.
You mean a wacky waving wobbler?
No. If he's hopping mad as what?
He looks like one of those inflatable things you give kids and you punch them in the face and they come back up.
Yeah. That's basically it.
It sticks too, and even we talked a couple of weeks ago about Hightower, just how ridiculous the bot modes are, but keeping in tone with the Constructicons from the movie. Just
well, I mean, they can't very well do something different, can they?
No, it's just how they'll portray the movie is just really weird and completely far off to what the Autobots were.
Do you feel like someone has convinced Hasbro that there's a lot of desire for an updated version of Revenge of the Fallen Devastator around for its 10th anniversary?
I want to believe that there's like a designer at Hasbro headquarters and like his hair's all frazzled and he's like smoking the 18th cigarette for the day and they've just gone, all right, Greg, what is it? And he's like, I never did it right the first time. I got it this time. Just give me one more chance. And they'll go, okay.
And as every single figure is coming out, everyone's just like, Greg doesn't have it anymore.
Nope. Well, not only that, just they would have had to look at eBay and see the original Supreme Class Devastator going for $400+ in sealed box and going, well, that's for that piece of shit. Let's do it better and proper. Yep. We can get $1,000.
And I mean, a lot of this also is still this weird sort of grey area where some of the bots in the films, you never saw them in a bot mode. You barely saw them in an alt mode.
Of course not. Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell if you saw this one in the bot mode because, like, look at us.
Well, let's see, we just talked about the excavator one. That was never part of Devastator. It was never in Revenge of the Fallen. We seen it for 2 seconds on a barge, and it come back in Age of Extinction. It's just that's like there's 8 bots included here, where we only see 5, 6 combined in Revenge of the Fallen to become Devastator. It's just there's added junk here just to make robots
make it work.
Modes. Yeah, make it all work. Just
the one thing I do like about this guy is that looking between his 2 alt modes, and I hate this. I hate that it gets me.
Go on.
I don't know how it transforms, but I want to know. I see little bits here and there, but it doesn't. Like I can't look at it and go, I know how that works.
Well, you asked. This has already been released, so you can watch YouTube videos now.
Yeah, I don't need to buy it. Someone else will.
There's some good transformations there. There's some niche stuff.
It's not for me, but I can't fault its accuracy. Like, I've seen the movie, I know how this guy worked, and I mean that's a toy representation of that guy, and it's pretty good.
This comes with a stand. I know we're going to go single leg pogo stick. We'll make a stand for us so it can leave stick.
You
can imagine, like, yeah, Billy, I finished transforming it. The natural state of the Rampage, face down on the ground.
He's a leg, of course.
I like how after every image of a Constructicon, we just get like this map. It's like, just in case you couldn't tell, this is the part of Devastator that it is.
He's also a foot. He's a triple changer, kids. Technically, the Constructicons are the first triple changes to actually come out in the studio series because all the other ones were cheats.
This is true. All right, let's move on. We have
the visual medium of the printed variety.
It is time to talk about IDW's new Transformers comic, which
bold new era.
Yes. I can't help but think. So, Ash, you've read the comic.
Yes, I have.
We are talking about IDW Transformers #1. Brad, you've also read the comic.
Yes, I have.
Having read. This is going to be a terrible joke. I'm sorry. Having read the first issue of the comic, do you think a bold new era refers to the typeface?
Considering
you
the title,
make these jokes around me because I'm a graphic designer. Man's Transformers, bold. I was going to say, I didn't even know Transformers were supposed to have hair.
Yes, no, they misspelled that.
Hmm.
So okay, look. So this is the first issue of IDW's brand new Transformers continuity. It is a whole new world. So don't you dare close your eyes.
Not it's Cybertron. We've been here before. Just not like this.
It's Cybertron, Jim, but not as we know it.
Correct.
There we go.
And it means we've got this new visual aesthetic that is slavishly accurate to the toys. Like right down, you can probably see where pins go through some joints.
Now, you know what? I don't actually mind the fact that the figures look like the toys in this case. Like the toy designs are pretty good and modern, and I like the fact that the toys are actually pretty obviously the source material for the artwork in the book. There's a few differences. Obviously, this is not an Optimus Prime figure that is currently available, but it is something that we will see down the line.
Yes,
Spoilers.
Think about it. Can you truly enjoy the artwork when you know full well that the artists are probably setting the toys in poses and being like, "Oh, Ironhide, it's me talking to you," and they pose them and draw them exactly like that? Is it effectively tracing?
Yeah, no, so you know what I actually quite appreciated as I was reading the comic and being aware of certain bits of the figures. I actually quite appreciated the fact that you can probably actually get the toys to pull off some of the poses that you see in the comic. So I thought that was kind of cool.
The thing I would question, however, is as soon as we get our first Siege figure, I mean, the line's been pretty good so far. The first Siege figure we get that has inexcusable kibble, something that's just horrible, will we see it in the comic? Will somebody turn around and have a big old butt flap, or a stupid backpack?
I did see someone make a joke on Twitter that Megatron actually does have his bot mode kibble, such that he actually ran into Ironhide with it in the comic.
When he bumped him. Oh,
yeah, when he bumped into him. That was his kibble bumped into him as he was leaving the room.
God.
I thought it was pretty neat.
Well, there we go. There's your answer, kids.
So it is a kibble friendly book at this stage.
Inclusive book.
Let's also just remember, however, that IDW's original Transformers continuity started with a weird hybrid of the movieverse designs and the G1 designs, and they very quickly abandoned that after.
They also were very strangely detailed in all the wrong places.
Correct. Correct. Now, so as far as plot and setting goes, like I feel I used the word remix when we were talking about Bumblebee. It's taken some things that we've seen before, and it's reusing some of them, and it's extending some of them and changing them. And I think that's pretty much what you're going to do when you reboot a franchise, right? Some things are going to be the same. We've already had a name drop of Tarn, one of the previous generation's most iconic Decepticons, but also he was named after the birthplace of the Decepticons, which does appear like it's going to be the case in this continuity as well.
Yeah.
We are seeing protests and unrests amongst the populace, which is obviously going to be the start of the Decepticon movement, or as they've been called so far, the Ascenticons.
Ascenticon.
I found that weird.
Well, so I actually think it's interesting. What's the opposite of ascend? It's descend. So, like, sort of see a Decepticon from Ascenticons. But
it's always been a bit of a, it's obviously it's an 80s cartoon property. It's the kind of thing where, like, the bad guy's name is always something like Snidely or, Dr. Evil, and you're like, he's the bad guy. The bad guys were the Decepticons, and it's like, did they choose to call themselves that? And a couple of different forms of Transformers media have nodded at it and enjoyed it. Like, Transformers Prime nailed it with, like, Megatron. Yes, they say that to put us down. We'll wear it proudly. Funny. And same within Bumblebee when, old mate Cena's just like, they're called Decepticons. Is anybody else worried about that? This is a good little nod to,
It's not a complicated thing to grow.
No, it's simple, it's funny, but I mean, of course, we're going to have some moment where it's just like, well, then we will be Decepticons, and then like big open thing, end of comic. Tune in next week, reader.
I'll tune in 2 weeks because we are getting a 2-week publishing schedule in this comic.
Yes. My only issue with media like this, particularly like sort of, it's set before the war and it's, it's at a time in peace. It's a weird place for writers to be because obviously they're moving towards the thing that everybody knows. So how quickly do they do that? And if they drag their feet, how weird does it feel? It's like when they announced the Gotham TV show. It's like, what was Batman like before he was Batman? I was like, are there people out there who actually give a shit about that? But I mean, it's good to see our favorite characters doing things that aren't just shooting at each other, but it's a question of as long as they can keep it engaging, it'll be fine. And as long as they don't rush to the war, because then they're just back in the same old place.
Well, so let's talk a little bit. There was an interview with incoming writer Brian Ruckley, and he said there is no crossover with any other Hasbro franchise.
So that's no expanded universe that they were talking about. People are like, cool, G.I. Joe and My Little Pony will turn up on Cybertron.
G.I. Joe and My Little Pony can well fuck off.
Oh, look out, it's Ecto 1.
There is to be no war, which is interesting for a franchise that is based on warring robots. And there is also no Earth, at least for now, which makes sense if there's been no war, because generally the Transformers come to Earth after the war breaks out. So,
can I just add the question?
Go.
There's no war, then there should be no alt modes.
I don't believe that's correct.
No, alt modes were always part of Cybertronian history. The war was caused technically, I mean, in some continuities, the war was caused because of altism or whatever. Like, you are a truck, you will carry things.
Okay, I thought it was the fact that they're robots and they become alt modes to hide and be robots in disguise in the war.
No, there was always alt modes. It's just that when the war started, the alt modes shifted more towards weapons of war rather than of industry.
Yeah, especially on the Decepticon side. Okay.
Oh. Definitely on the Decepticon side there. Let's talk a little bit about the cast of the comics. Now, I've stuck Orion Pax and Megatron together in the same sentence because most of the only real mention of them was having them together. Although there was an interestingly detailed reference to Prowl being trapped under a pylon for 10 cycles
and being a bitch about it.
So we've got. There was this big long discussion between Orion Pax and Megatron, which I thought went all right, but it felt like it was really trying to be sort of an updated take on one of IDW's prior sort of big hit moments. Was I think it was issue number 19, which was a big discussion between Prime and Megatron back in the previous continuity, and it felt like this was really sort of intended to be a bit of a set up as a bit of a sparring match on that level. Didn't quite hit all the notes, but I did appreciate some of the little sort of chuckle moments where you sort of did get this impression that these two characters have been around each other for long enough. It was hinted that one is one cycle older than the other.
It reminded me a lot of Titan's Return.
Yeah.
Just that real cocky Megatron, like, what are you talking to me for? Why have you organised for us to have this meeting?
That seems correct. We also got a pairing up between Bumblebee and newcomer Rubble. Not sure why we need a newcomer Rubble, but Rubble is a recently forged Transformer who has not been alive for very long and is still amazed by practically everything. It's the kind of youthful optimism that will get really old really fast, but I suspect that we might be in to see a bit of a fall from Rubble. We'll see.
Wow, I read that entire first issue thinking that was Rumble.
Did you not notice the two B's in his name?
I did not.
Okay. Good.
I thought that was Rumble. And he's looking at things in the first, and obviously
Rubble, toil, and trouble.
Gets corrupted by Soundwave, obviously. Obviously not.
Well, I actually wonder if he might end up being Rumble, because his name is very similar, so we'll see.
Yeah, like he's a smaller size of B. He's that cassette size.
Yeah. So we also got fan favorite Windblade. Hi, I'm Windblade.
Yeah. Superhero landing.
Yes. Yep.
So Windblade is part of Cybertron's security force. Bumblebee, it is implied, used to be a part of the security force until the incident, which no one wants to go into at this point because it is just issue number 1. All three of them, Bumblebee, Rubble, and Windblade, are on their way to see some kind of a demonstration from Brainstorm, who we only sight on the very last panel of the comic, and it does appear that he might be dead.
Yeah.
So Brainstorm may be the first Transformer to die in the new IDW continuity. We have been told that a murder will rock pre-war Cybertron, and so maybe it's Brainstorm. There was also an organic life form that I think they called them scavengers, some kind of
something along those lines.
Yeah. So Rubble fell off a cliff and landed in a pit with a bunch of organic monkeys, yes, that appeared to be maybe about to do him some damage when Windblade turned up and very kindly shot them all.
Well, one of them had a octopus in a fishbowl attached to its head, so I don't know what was going on there, if that was implying some sort of intelligence to the leader, or
maybe.
We'll see if that comes back later on.
Well, you'd have to assume that they'll be a part of the story, otherwise, like, why put them there in issue 1? We'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what's going on in the plot? Megatron is on his way to the city of Tarn, where he's going to give a speech that will probably form the Decepticons, or at least spark some kind of an unrest. Orion Pax would rather he did not. Doesn't want him to give the speech today. Megatron scoffs, and apparently Megatron has the gift of the gab. So we'll see how he goes with this. There's some kind of a demonstration of some technology demonstration of energon forging that Brainstorm is apparently going to be doing, and that's where Bumblebee, Rubble, and Windblade are off to. So we'll see what happens in just 2 weeks' time with issue 2. Artwork. What do you think of the artwork, Ash? I mean, we've talked about the figure design, but there's also a lot of sweeping landscapes and sort of panoramas of Cybertron here. Does it strike you as something new and bold?
I like it that it does. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird. When it comes to me in the comic books that we've had in the past, there's sort of been like times where I really liked it and times where I kind of didn't. This is hitting me right in the middle. I neither like it or dislike it, but I'm curious to see how it develops and sort of goes. I do like that they've managed to now that they can sort of give characters emotion and such. Some people sort of lean too much on the bot side of things. It becomes a bit sort of, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be feeling looking at this person. I don't know what he's supposed to be feeling as a character, yada, yada. So for the most part, I like the colors. I really like the bold shading that they've used. And there's going to be a couple of artists involved, isn't there?
I think there has to be. Like, they've got a 2-week publishing schedule. I feel like it might be week on week or issue on, issue off for people. We'll see how we go.
It'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I mean, that's the thing. It's a new continuity. We've got no idea what happens next.
And that was one question I brought up today about just the fact that Windblade said that her and Bumblebee were longtime friends, and that's where I raised the question: is this some sort of tie-in to Cyberverse where Windblade's obviously going after B to get his memories back, but that may be just a coincidence. I suppose we'll find out later. Consider I haven't watched Cyberverse Season 1 or going now into Season 2, what that goes into. Whether they're going to pull from that with some story threads or just continue on for what they're doing now. Time will tell.
Cool. All right. That's issue 1 of IDW's. What was the story called? The World in Your Eyes.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Let's see what's up next. The Prime Wars trilogy is now streaming on roosterteeth.com. It disappeared when Machinima bit the dust a few weeks ago.
Sure did.
We had hoped that it might never come back, but unfortunately, it does appear that Rooster Teeth bought the rights to it, and this is perhaps more of a concern because Rooster Teeth are also responsible for the new Netflix series. Make of that what you will.
Next.
Next story. We have been given an advance look this week at Commander Class Jetfire, his packaging art, and cool. It looks like Jetfire.
That just looks like a
It does. It
great
does,
bot.
but it was not what I was expecting art-wise at all. Like, it's a really blocky head and such, and like it actually
looks to me like he's one of the. He actually looks like he's been drawn as one of the Combiner Wars figures.
I don't think he looks even like a Transformer. He looks like something out of Macross or something. I was like,
Well,
God.
there's that war.
I know, but it was just for the fact, like, you'd think that they wouldn't.
I think Hasbro likes to tweak the nose of anyone who holds Macross properties these days. I don't know. It's not that Macrossy, but it also doesn't really look like what we expect Jetfire to look like, and it doesn't. I think it's because there's sort of the darker scheme on the front, or the around the chest. It looks like there's sort of some black parts, but yeah.
Well, that's where that whole battle assault accessories would bolt on. Yes, it's more egregious in the figure itself, but
the thing that gets me is that there's no personality in him. Like, not expecting him to, like, have a party whistle and a funny hat or something, like with a propeller on top, but just like he just looks like a robot.
Yeah, he does.
That's like,
well, look. This is, I think, the less interesting of the two box art reveals. But let's go to the other one.
Yeah, I do like that Omega Supreme's on the Jetfire box art.
Yeah, he's in the bottom.
It's almost like they're saying, if you can afford this, you can probably afford this.
There's something bigger coming. Just wait.
Yes, if we scroll down,
something expensive this way comes.
Yes, Omega Supreme, the Titan class figure for this year, such that he even dwarfs the word siege, unlike everything else. Look, nice looking figure. I'm finding that there's more sort of darker lines on the figures' shapes this year than we've seen in years gone by. And so it really does give them a different sort of generational look.
Very unique art style from a Transformers perspective, because there's like a lot of detail that you wouldn't usually expect getting a hell of a lot of focus.
Yep.
Which I have no problem with. One of the things I love about this box, and a lot of people online are pointing this out, is that little purple and blue man down the front shooting his gun, pew, pew, go away, large man. It almost looks like a Transformers version of Skeletor from behind.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Mega Supreme,
Oh, get you, Mega Supreme.
If he turned around and had like a yellow bludgeon face, I would buy that figure and I'd love it. But yes, I also love that directly in front of like the grab hand of Omega Supreme. I get the guy's supposed to be getting grabbed in like a magnetic pulse, but he actually looks like he's sort of in the dance scene from the 1986 movie.
He's actually an extra.
Dare to be stupid.
Yeah, he's in the middle. He's at the end of the Dare to be Stupid part, right after they've done the universal
He's actually
greeting.
an extra for the end of Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
it's Dancing Ewok is what I'm saying. Right? Okay.
Well, that's the same we had with Triptychon too, where you had this massive battle scene and you had these little no-name, undescribable figures below it. Yeah,
Fodder is what they're called.
Yeah, one of those. Well, we hypothesized at the time one of those looked like a little shockwave, and nothing ever come out of it. So,
Yep. No, sadly, I'd like to see all of these figures, but we already know that he comes with one little guy, but it's not Skeletor.
No.
Now this.
Now, you guys are very excited about this. I'm less excited about it, but hey, it's a statue. We haven't had some statue news for a while. Pop Culture Shock has a G1 Soundwave statue that has, I guess, Rumble. He's blue, whatever.
It's Rubble.
It's proto Rubble. And we are looking at it. Is it just this one photo?
It's Fremble.
Yes. Yeah.
See, I'm excited about this because it's one of those things that I will never own it. I may never see it in person, but I can look at pretty pictures of it on the internet.
You can appreciate that it exists.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Even a photo like this, you could normally blow this up to A3 or something bigger and just put it on your wall. Like the detail.
If it wasn't for the shading on his gun, where you can actually see a proper shadow, I'd almost think it was drawn.
Yeah.
That's what got me. When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, that's cool artwork. What's the actual statue? That's where they got me. It looks like all of those great paints that people do to turn like the masterpiece figures into cel-shaded cartoon versions of themselves. Only it's a statue.
It is. A couple of weeks ago, we did see the reveal of a collaboration with Takara-Tomy and Atmos, because apparently, as MP44 is coming up, Takara's realized that they have a shitload of MP10s that they need to get rid of. And so they are farming them out to Atmos to paint to look like their shoes. Now, this is an amazing amazing collaboration when you look at photos like this one where you've got literally a leopard dots and you've got stripes and then you've got those reflected onto Optimus Prime for absolutely no reason.
He's got white Mickey Mouse gloves with his leopard print.
Yeah,
leopard zebra.
these guys have totally pimped out Optimus Prime. Like, this is Prime as you've never seen him before. It's pretty amazing. Can you go to the next picture?
Next slide.
What the hell is that?
Yeah,
And
look,
now he's green and black.
now here's the thing, right? These two are new reveals. We saw 3 or was it 4 reveals a couple of weeks ago of these, and the way that Atmos is actually handing these out they're not handing them out, they are making you pay for
They're
them.
handing it out. We get one for free. They're not handing them out. If they were handing them out, I'd be somewhere doing this. Please, sir.
So what you got to do in order to get one of these is that you need to install the Atmos app on your phone and enter the lucky draw via the app. And then if you are lucky enough to be one of the ones selected, then Atmos will allow you to give them money in exchange for one.
Congratulations! You win the opportunity to pay us money.
Yeah.
Yay! Wait a minute.
These guys don't just take money from anyone. I mean, like you gotta line up and
You've got to win.
Now,
You
can I
gotta be in it to win
can I just point out my absolute favorite one of these?
Wait. Before we move on from this one,
Yeah,
it's a green Optimus. It's
Okay,
Optimus Lime.
yeah.
Lime, yeah, definitely lime.
All right, now you can move on.
Okay. Next tab, please, Brad. No, next tab.
Next tab.
Have I got 2? Oh, tab.
Yep.
There we
And
go.
this one, Jason.
This guy's amazing.
Optimustard Prime.
No, Mangamus Prime. Actually, it's actually just Optimus Prime, sponsored by Mango Wheat.
Now, honestly, for the people listening at home and you can't see this with your, audio vision, he's yellow.
No, he's orange. He's mango colored. So we are looking at the LeBron version, which is probably the best non-canon color scheme I've ever seen on this figure. It smashes shattered glass out of the park. It's way better than all your Nemesis modes, whatever. It looks amazing. It also it does bear more of a passing resemblance to Fireguts Jinrai, which is probably why it looks amazing. But this is like the one deco of this that I want to get. And
Have you entered the draw?
so the draw took place 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you win?
No.
Oh no!
Have you located the person who did win?
Also, that they
Are you stalking them now?
Can you
let
wear their skin?
a few hundred or a few thousand of them go. They are $600.
Oh,
You can get them. They are priced like a bape, except not like a bape. These are even rarer than a bape because they've been released in such limited numbers. You can't just walk into a store and get one.
But the question on everyone's lips: are we finally reaching a point where the MP10 mold has been reused more than the Henkei Seekers?
no.
There are 31 no one uses the classic sticker mold.
How many more primes are there? How many more do we need?
I think MP10 is only up to about 15 or 20.
Yeah, I know, but that's still
Yeah.
15 or
Yeah.
20.
It's only up to like 10 or so.
I don't know about you guys, but I am most excited about Breast Cancer Optimus Prime coming out next year in neon pink.
Man, that would be amazing. I'll tell
Why
you.
did you say that? I would want it so
Yeah.
bad.
Wasn't that already a thing? I thought we did have a pink prime.
No, we had a purple one for Shatter Glass.
Okay.
Pink Optimus Prime. I'm Googling, Captain. I'm
I
Googling.
was starting to Google that. I thought I'd seen a pink one.
Not see anything jumping out at me. Okay.
That's the thing. Like this past fortnight or 3 weeks, we've seen this and 2 other repaints.
No, there's like 5 now. There's
Yeah.
four
Yep.
or 5 or 6 of them. We
Yeah.
saw
This is probably the biggest
4
collection of other coloured primes that hit us all at once.
Meanwhile, we've seen MP45 for the last 6 months in prototypes and everything else. So it's like we're bringing this out. It's coming, but in the meantime,
So
here's
this
MP10.
is what I was saying. I reckon that they've just shipped off all of their MP10s leftover stock out to someone else to go and get them to paint them.
I think Takara, it's not painting. They've just looked at the molds and they're going, right, well, we don't need these anymore. Let's ride them hard and put them away wet. What colours have we got?
I think they've said let's do a 10,000 production run and see how we can sell them before they've put the mold away. Like
The final prime will just be completely transparent.
That the Eva one, was that a sign up to get as well? There was
No.
one other
No, EVA was general release.
general.
Yeah.
I thought
I've
there
actually
was
seen
one
him in the
other.
store.
Yeah, I thought there was one other one that was a pay to play. Maybe
I
not.
do love Banana
so
Paddle Pop Prime, but the one thing that worries me, and it just I can't stop looking at it, is just why does he have a tiny little smidge of mustardy brown on his crotch? I get that that's where his little blue thing goes, but just when it's mustardy brown, it's like a paddle pop stick color. It weirds me out.
Oh, Prime go poopy.
I don't like it.
That's- yeah.
Oh.
You may not like it. I can look past it. If I get a chance to add this to my
I can look past it too. I just need to do this and put my thumb on the screen there, and all good. Of course, now I'm thumbing Prime in the crotch, but it's not the first time.
No. Every time we transform him, right?
Crotchmas Prime.
You can't resist.
We've all thumbed figures where we shouldn't have thumbed them during transformation.
No. Actually, you've missed the obvious joke. You got the touch.
Oh wow! Wow.
Okay, let's move on.
Speaking of touchy-feely.
This is one figure that you might not want to touch, except we've left it in because Brad does want to touch it. So we are looking at Masterpiece Movie MPM08. It is inching ever closer to reality. We've got in-hand images of it. And he comes with a little mini Allspark. So cool. Brad, how is your frothing demand for this figure?
It recently come out. This is going to be exclusive here for $200, but I think the size. I don't know if we got a photo here with some. Oh yeah, we do.
The size is absurd.
I'm pretty sure that's the Masterpiece when it comes up.
That is the Masterpiece Ironhide figure.
Ironhide, yeah.
Yep, but the
Wow.
next one shows the new Masterpiece, the new Megatron figure. That puts it in perspective. Based off the size, he's basically as tall as your Masterpiece Ultra Magnus would be.
So if you were to pick this guy out by the legs, could you kill someone with him?
Oh, certainly.
You could probably club them with him, and you could probably extend his flail and also whip them while you do so.
Yeah, it just. I don't. We've okay. I've commented before about how good this looks, and just seeing it in scale here next to the Masterpiece Megatron. Unfortunately, no photos with it next to. What's on top of Masterpiece Prime? It just looks fantastic in both modes. Again, I love how it isn't withheld to a Earth mode, so you can get away with him not having a robot hanging under the jet. Although
apparently his jet mode is absolutely colossal. That's the one thing I've heard people say again and again, is that he's a big bot, but in jet mode he's even bigger. Even in that picture just there, you have some nondescript person's hand, and even that, he just looks like look how big it effing is.
Yeah, that makes the $200 price tag feel a little bit more comfortable.
And I mean that's for a Masterpiece figure. Like
$200 seems pretty good for this.
For a Masterpiece of that size, $200. Like, how much was Ultra Magnus as a Masterpiece? Not $200.
$250.
A lot more.
Yeah, but it's just a detail. Like Ultra Magnus was a brick with some blue and white, but where this thing's just the detail behind the individual panels.
Yeah, I said it a couple of months ago, and I stand by it now. This figure looks better than the film version did. I prefer this to what I saw in the film.
Hold on. Why?
Yeah, I was going to ask
chewy gummy bears.
No, why is there a picture of Melbourne's CityLink freeway in the background?
It's probably a Windows lock screen where they show pretty things. I'm more worried about the little anime girl off on the right-hand side who's just, it's Megatron!
What the hell? We're gonna try and get into this. No, that's not gonna.
No, that's really not gonna.
That's all they're gonna reveal to you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he works with his CityLink. That's why he's got the screenshot there.
I don't know. I think he's just a big old gaming nerd because he's got a Resident Evil pad underneath his keyboard and mouse.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure that image you're looking at is just one of those Windows lock screens that goes, "Here's a cool piece of photo."
Yeah,
probably does. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but no, we've talked a lot about this.
Look, go back one. Next to the keyboard, gentlemen.
Is that a bot?
That's a bot.
Wait. Is it this dude?
Don't make me change it for
the burrito.
No, it's not the burrito. It's the
I
one that
can't
turns into a
do
little
it.
potted plant.
Oh, I haven't got him.
The little potted plant. I forget
I
what
was
his name is,
gonna
like
say.
Snapdragon or something like that.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely. I'd love to be able to get this. I think it's in some select stores. If I think it's going to be an online purchase, and if it's an online purchase, maybe I won't be able to get it. But yeah,
Haven't the Studio Series figures, the NPM's been sold in Zing?
Zing, it's Zing exclusive apparently.
Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, we have greater access to Zings than we do most other things.
I don't.
You don't? I don't even goddamn Tassie, and even I do.
No.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to start up a cheaper forwarding store then.
Oh, yeah.
I'll call
But
it
then-
Ashes Sing Things. Pay for postage and give me a $10 finder's fee. It's yours.
Civil Warrior General Grant. This guy is a War Within Optimus Prime figure. We've got a grey prototype to look like. He looks just like the War Within Optimus Prime figure that we've seen done several times by a few different companies. This one has slightly better proportions, I think, than Alpha Stack.
Mhm.
Oh, look, he could do a Windblade.
He's got pointy fingers. That's what I like.
You mean you can move his fingers?
No, look in the top right-hand side. It's like, look, it's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's someone who can fly because I can't.
I can point this way.
He can also pick his nose.
Is this so? This guy is transformable. We can see there, and
Is that a hint at maybe a hot rod, Rodimus?
no. I just assume that he'll have a trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll make that not known at this point.
We'll make it not known. Cool. Studio Series Devastator. We've got a new image. This is it, right?
This is apparently the render. This is what they're showing off. Obviously, there's a lot of figures in here. I mean, he's 8 figures total. 4 have been revealed and 4 have not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked earlier about, I think it was Shit Stacker or whatever its name was, the excavator.
Scrapmetal.
That too.
Yeah.
Being added as an extra limb for his right hand that was never there in the film. It was never part of Devastator. I don't know why they've added this extra bot. It doesn't need to be there. Hightower was his right arm, not Scavenger. Scrapmetal.
Do you mean his left arm?
Well, it's out.
I'm looking at a photo on a screen.
Yes, but you are aware that, like, when someone orients their direction to face towards you, their left is your right.
The sky's blue. Unless it
Camera
rains.
left.
Up is down. Okay. So anyway, Studio Series Devastator. So Brad, you were up on this previously. Are you not now because of the changes?
Oh, no, I'm still up, but I won't be getting drop metal Scavenger for the hand.
So your Devastator won't do that much damage because he'll be armless?
No, you'll have an arm, but Hightower with the arm. There's enough kibble there hanging off Hightower to become a hand.
It'll just be like a little short, stumpy arm. Yeah.
It's the Scoopy bit.
It's Revenge of the Fallen. Megatron had a gumpy arm as well.
And a crab claw.
Yep.
They had a gumpy plot, but yeah. All right. Okay. So
What I like about this image looking at is that they show his head with a very, very, very obvious looking glow effect. And I'm not sure if that's just something that they're pushing for the artwork. I wonder if that could be a gimmick for the actual Mixmaster figure, which will house the head.
It's enclosed in the barrel, the Mixmaster barrel, just
Yeah.
like the original Supreme class. So I can see it being something very easy to do and cheap. Without the whole push the tab down and the whole end of the barrel expands and the jaws drop down like the original Supreme class did. Just having the LEDs in there, I think, is enough.
The one thing I'm
Without-
glad not to see, there's no testicles.
That's actually the mystery ninth bot.
Yeah,
Ball bearing.
the Supreme class didn't have it, so technically, if this wants to be accurate, it needs to have it.
When the collected kit comes out, you'll get a set of truck nuts just for this.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get some truck nuts on it. All right. I think we're done with that.
I think we're done with news. We've basically, I think we've descended into mockery.
We're discussing truck nuts. We've done enough.
I feel look. I feel like the mockery was well deserved, but it is time to talk some new acquisitions. I have a few because it's been a few weeks since I've been on. But Brad,
No, I'm still at only one figure purchased for this year.
which is
That was that War Bumblebee
oh
last night.
oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's nothing.
Oh no.
Except for those single or free step changer Cyberverse or Bumblebee figures. There's nothing. I've not seen anything new. No Siege. No. Even no proper Bumblebee Deluxes. Siege. Not Siege. Studio Series is still Wave 2. There's Megatron and Brawl. There's nothing past that here anywhere. So I'm not paying retail plus postage for figures. So I'm going to come back and get back in my hole. When I get a new figure, when I see a new figure, when I see a bot, I'm happy to buy bots, but I'm just not seeing them. I'm in a dark spot, Transformers related at the moment. There's just nothing new at all until Masterpiece Megatron comes out in a couple of weeks' time.
I'm looking at
then we shall have something to talk about.
well, we shall.
Well, I shall.
I'm looking. Well, I'll have Beast Wars Megatron as well when he turns up too. I suspect we might be getting him from the same place too.
Sir, challenge you to a duel.
So no, I'm looking at all of the bots on the table in front of me for acquisitions, and none of them reflect the shape of a violin. However, there is one. There is one that makes a pretty freaking awesome bot, and he turns into a guitar.
Yep, I'll take it.
Hang on, let me like do the
Poop on his head.
hey.
Brown dookie on his head. Is that his wig or the end of the guitar? Just came out of nowhere. He's been glowing.
Yes.
He's been iced like a cake.
Hang on a sec. Let me just flip that there, flap that there, and then there. And look at that guitar. Look at him.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing.
I know. Yeah. Like, this is actually the best bot figure that I've ever seen.
You need a deluxe Soundwave to hold him, and
yeah, shredded axe.
So instead of a deluxe Soundwave, instead I've got the laptop dude.
He does look.
He is a Decepticon all the way.
He looks great, and he's even got other bot figures as stickers on his laptop case. That's fantastic.
Safety scissors.
Yeah. One of the bots is safety scissors, and I'll also. I just want to point out this other one right before we move on. Like this guy, drum kit's great. He's fantastic. He's such a little happy chap too. Look at him. What a happy boy.
I need joy in these figures again. The bots are going to do it for me, but I just freaking need them.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see them locally.
I know. There are a couple. I also like. I put this one on the group last night, but like. Does anyone who's been looking at the Facebook group know this guy's name?
That's Steve from accounting.
He's Steve from accounting. What? He's literally called Steve from accounting. And because I know that people are not going to believe me, I've got the instruction sheet here, right? And if I hold this up in the right way, you will see Steve from accounting.
Well, I was going to say no one's replenished the toilet paper.
So yeah, no, like it's my favorite bot name is Steve from accounting. Like there's just no beating it. I think the entire Hasbro Transformers division should just pack up and go home. There's no beating that name.
I think they've just basically peaked. Just so downhill from here. Sorry.
I think they have. A couple of other acquisitions. I'm going to leave you to talk about your acquisitions, Ash. I did manage to procure a Magic Square blaster.
Oh, he's adorable.
I know, he's a cute little blaster. And also,
he's been showing hers off in the group for a while, and I think it's a fantastic looking
figure. He's only like a little bit taller than a bot.
It's 2.5 bots tall.
I know.
It's like
did he come with a lino and the other tapes?
No, so he comes with one tape.
Steeljaw.
Or if you mind, he comes with two because one was in his chest and one was in the box, but they are the same. I think this one's more Ramhorn. I think. So like if I flip that there and flip that there, is it Rhino? Yeah. This guy's the Rhino.
Ramhorn.
He's red. He's not yellow.
He rams and he horns.
Yeah.
Wow.
So okay. So I just figured out there, flip that there, and he's definitely the Rhino, right? Because when you do that, there you go. You can see his little Rhino horn, right?
Yep. Wow. Look at him.
So yes, look upon him.
Gaze upon him. He looks like something that you'd accidentally inhale.
I've got a bunch of little Transformers. Really, is what's been going on, right? So this guy is a bit disappointing. This is Siege. I'm going to move over there.
That is unintentionally thick Ravage.
Siege Ravage.
Never missed on carve day.
Him to be. Yeah, no, he's just carved 4 days.
Like he did though, because like look at his actual legs.
Oh, follow that.
And like this. So looking at the disappointment that is Ravage, you can clearly see the attention that they lavished on Razor and Laserbeak. Laserbeak is the winner.
Ravage into the chest, Laserbeak onto the arm. Happy sailors, good displays.
Exactly right. And the other thing before I get off the stage for my new acquisitions is I got a bot that turns into a Maraca. look at him. He's great. I love him. They're great. They're so much fun.
Brilliant.
So Ash, you've also got something else that I have also acquired. So let's talk about them.
Micromasters. Tiny little things that basically want to fall apart. But that's pretty much exactly as they were back in the day anyway, so I'm not even angry. So obviously Micromasters have finally reached Tasmania. It was the one Siege thing that didn't hit us straight away. And I've got myself Red Heat and Stakeout. And they are every bit as I remember them, just slightly better as well, because they've got, ball joints and such now. And beautiful thing is that though that their legs love to pop off at the slightest breeze,
they've just fallen off here as well.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, you could look at them funny and their legs just spring off. It's what happens. But
I think this is actually going to be the first time I actually get out the nail polish to try and beef up the ball joints.
I have modified so many figures to try and fix them. I look at these ball joints, I'm like,
these ones are not so bad, right?
These ones they want to pop off, and I think I should just let them. As long as I'm not putting them anywhere that my daughter could possibly eat the missing limb. Stakeout and Red Heat are incredible. I think the other ones that are coming that actually form a giant bazooka, the Decepticons, I want to say it's Top Shot and Flak, but either way, they're military vehicles and they turn into a goddamn bazooka. So as much as these guys are cool and they do sort of form into a weird gun intended for Ironhide, I want the bazooka. Like,
why wouldn't you?
It's a bazooka. But yeah, I dig them. And I really like having this price point for like sort of, I can, spare $20 and get 2 little figures that just, I'm not going to say hours of joy because that feels really disingenuous, but I'll definitely say minutes of joy. Lots of minutes of joy.
That seems fair.
Hour of joy.
Look, I do think it's interesting thinking about the price point and the relative value. We did have someone come on the group on Facebook the other day saying, look, these guys are pretty disappointing. I paid $20 for them. But I think what's happening though is that he's expecting them to be 2 figures that are worth $20 each, but they're actually just 2 figures that are really just worth $10 each. And that's quite expensive for a Micromaster. But there's 2 of them there. You can sort of see that.
I think the thing that sells it for me is that not only are they 2 little figures that are decently detailed and transform, they combine into a gun gimmick.
Yeah.
Gives another little edge. Like I said, these guys sort of can turn into a really odd looking gun that just looks like, a car rammed up the arse of the other car and now they're a gun.
Oh, isn't that how
that's where Transformers come from, kids.
Isn't that actually how they combined in Energon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But Top Shot and Flak actually make a really good looking bazooka, so cool. And there's also planes coming, and the 2 planes, one plane rams up the bum of the other plane and they become a sword.
Yeah.
So why not? I'm down for that. And plus they're Decepticon planes, so they're black and purple. Love it. Yeah. Little mini Thundercrack. No, Skywalks.
No, black and purple
joking
Decepticons.
with a friend all week about like the only reason people don't like Thundercracker is because he's not Skywarp, and I said if we just swap their names like people do with Rumble and Frenzy, Thundercracker would get love. You mean the black and purple one? I love that dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
one of the interesting things too, like going all the way back to Combiner Wars, that $19 price point for Legends figures. Some of the best figures people have talked about and we've collected are in that Legends line. Shockwave, the Insecticons, everything else.
I love Shockwave.
Like
Legends
all those...
Shockwave, Sea Spray is incredible.
Yeah,
Coma is such an amazing figure. He could have been, but he's not. And I don't care. I love him.
The thing is that it's essentially half of those figures.
Yeah, but the thing is, like you cut back to the next price point, which is the $9 Titan Master, which is
they are better than Titan Master.
Yeah, you got two. Why am I getting a warning about battery low?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're actually nearly finished.
Yeah, I need to plug something in. But it's just great that you've got a high like the same price point as two Titan figures with their bot mode or whatever else, but you got that little bot and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I need to plug my phone and plug the iPad in. Continue.
I'm not sure what we're continuing with. I think we're actually finished. What do you think, Ash?
I think we're pretty much done.
Pretty much done. We're pretty much done. Are we whispering because we're like he's back. He's back.
Away from the microphone briefly. We can say all those naughty things about him. Oh, he's back. Never mind.
He's back. Never mind. Yeah.
Don't worry. Nothing. Not what
the screen has illuminated.
All right, good. You have power for the next 30 seconds of show, which is where we say
if it cut out, then we could have lost it all. That's just
fair enough. Yeah. Where we say thank you for listening, everyone. If you're watching along with the live record, thank you for checking us out. I like to enunciate certain words and confuse people. Out.
9% battery power.
That's an excellent live update. Thank you. To find out more about these stories, you'll find links to them and more in the show notes posted to the Transformers Weekly Facebook page and the Podbean site, which is transformersweekly.podbean.com. You will, of course, find us all in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. If you're not already subscribed, find the podcast on iTunes, Pocket Casts, YouTube, and more. The RSS feed is on the website and in the show notes. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia, a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers who donate their time and money to make the club better for everyone. Our goal is to connect Transformers fans around the country. We do it by engaging the collecting community. There are nearly 3,000. No, there's over 3,000 people in our discussion group. There's nearly 2,000 people in our sales group, and most of them are from Australia. You can find out more information, including affordable yearly membership options to show your support for what we do and us giving up our Friday nights to talk stuff at transformerscca.com. And that is what happens when we give up our Friday nights to talk about this stuff as we end up yawning through the URL.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it from us. And we will be back with more Transformers news next week.
Same bot time, same bot channel.
Same bot time, same bot channel. Same.
I need to find some bot-bots. Lovely. Thanks, guys. Good night. I'm glad you can concentrate when Ash is doing that.
I didn't look.
I accidentally discovered like a secret boner mode for Red Heat. So
wait a second, hang on. Let me see if I can work this out.
Secret boner mode.
Is this sung to the tune of Secret Agent Man?
Secret boner mode.
He's given you a boner and taken away your name. Well, we've gone. It's gone well early here, hasn't it?
Wow.
It's all gone downhill before we even started, no less.
Yes.